Okay, like with my Boozy Uzi video, I gotta give a disclaimer once again. One, this series gets pretty rough, so I'm only going to be showing images from the thumbnails and not the actual series itself. Two, this is a fan-made series and this is a fan review. This is not an official FNAF series. This is just me as a fan explaining my love for this series that I've been having for years. Third, this is all opinionated, and again, adhere to the content warning, because this does get pretty violent, like most FNAF fan media does. Now then, when you think of best FNAF series, what do you think of? Let's see, you find some candies, Pop Goes, the VHS series. To me, there's only been one answer. Zaper's 70s, Five Nights at Freddy's, The Hidden Lore. You don't know what this peak series is, allow me to explain. Five Nights at Freddy's, The Hidden Lore is a fan retelling of the original Scott Cawthon era FNAF games, from FNAF 1 all the way to around FNAF 6. The series was on YouTube from the 2010s up until, I would say, Help Wanted. And it's a retelling of the FNAF series almost point for point. And it's similar to vein to something like Brad Woods' Sonic.exe series, almost dead-ass point for point amazing retelling. Some of the characters' names will change. Like, for example, Fred is Henry, William is Peter, Terrence is Michael, and I forgot the other names because it's different. Episode 1 is the retelling of The Bite of 83. Where, like the game, I'm going to call them their names by the way, Evan is having his birthday where he mentions to Elizabeth FNAF 4, although we don't really see it. Michael is being a piece of shit like usual. William scolds him for this. So, like the game, him and his friends decide to steal the mask and pull a little funny prank. Yeah, that goes south fucking fast, because Fred builds a spring lock, snap open, and kill and eat Evan. Fred / Henry is crying in his office about how his company is ruined, but William reassures him that he will take care of things. Episode 2, we get the toy animatronics. First off, I like this little funny joke where Peter's like, I don't understand why people like these things. Another one to know about episode 2, although I will bring this up real quick. Somewhere later in the series, a boy named Jonathan is captured by Golden Freddy / Peter and is killed and turned into a puppet. Yeah, one problem I have with this series is that it does explain why Peter is doing the things that he does. Because he's capturing experiments on the children and turning them to the animatronics. But it's not really said in the series why he's experimenting on them. Like, it's only applied for amusement or to somehow help the company. I don't know how that works. Episode 3 is The Bite of 87. Where Peter tries to do something good for once and stop a little girl from going near Foxy. Where the Foxy falls at her, bite happens, and we're back to it again. Episode 4, a few teenagers decide to go into Freddy Fazbear's at night, but they encounter their dead classmates' bodies stuck inside the animatronics that hunt them down one by one. After a recreation of FNAF 1, of course, with the Wizards. The girl that possesses Chica is found outside by William, and he takes out a 9 and shoots her. Episode 5, William and Henry in this universe then create the animatronics, but as a guy named Fred. Fred comes to fix the toys, but he finds a powerful interference that makes him hostile. It's the Ghost Children, by the way. The toys team up on him, Puppet specifically trapping him. Peter refuses to let him out, so there are no traces, and he gets captured by Toy Freddy. Episode 7, William decides to quit and he dismantles the animatronics and leaves Fred to take all the bus. However, he gets trapped in a hallucination like dream sequence, I think. I don't remember. But like the game, he encounters the ghosts of the children that he killed and experimented on. He puts on the Springtrap suit, and we get the best Springlock scene ever. Little Box's voice acting, the animation, the music box is a nice touch, the gagging, the stomping of the Springlocks, and then the last breath choke before he dies. Perfect. I will say though, this is a weak ass Springtrap design. It's based on the stylized version, and I don't like stylized Springtrap. I think it's a bad design. Like, it's just everything that was cool about the Scott Mall was thrown out the window for this one. Anyways, Fred as an old man fights Springtrap in Fast vs. Fright, where while broken and possessed of the animatronic, he begs him to help him. But again, due to the fact that he ruined his company experiments on children, he instead burns the place down with him inside. Season 2 came out, and I'm going to be honest, the first half is a bunch of nothing. I can do it without this. What I really want to talk about is the last 2 episodes. So, last 2 episodes. Springtrap gets out of the fire and puts itself back together in this badass redesign that's more game accurate, and goes out to find Fred. He finds Fred, they have one final showdown, and then we get a recreation of the FNAF 6 speech where the two of them talk to each other. And I want to quote real quick. Fred, if I can go back in time, how would I actually take consequences like a man instead of whining about it like a little bitch? And then Springtrap goes, well, good for you. You wonder what I do back in time? Not a goddamn thing. Apart from wasting you the first chance I get. Which just shows how much of an ass his Springtrap is. This is definitely my favorite Springtrap. He's so accurate. He's a fucking ass, and I love it. And then he gets ran over by Fred, and they both die. And thus, that's the end of the hidden lore. Like I said, this is my favorite FNAF series. It is so on point, and there's some points I think it's better than the game. My only problem is where the hell are Fred and Peter's children? Like, yeah, the kids are in the series, but like, we don't know if they're related to them or not. And talk that they have different names, so it's also hard to tell. So though, highly recommend subscribing to Zapa70. Recommend checking out this GOAT series. Although, I could do about the first few episodes of Season 2. Still though, all around hood classic, underrated gem. Easily a awesome standout from any FNAF anime series I've seen. Thank y'all and peace out. And don't forget to check out this sweet baby, especially around the Halloween times.